very interesting, the power dynamic, especially between both of them, because obviously one would expect, Tinubu as the all, the grand master strategist to always be, two steps and, one leg ahead of Wike. But Omo, if I don't think Tinubu even wants Wike's trouble right now, right? So that's why I'm thinking maybe Wike may well be the most powerful politician, but again, it's a question. I don't know. Sammy, what's up? Okay. I'm not sure Sammy knows is on the speaker section. Dr. Diudo, do you know you're on the speaker section?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I know. How are you,
I'm
Deji?
good, doctor. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I was
I just saw
earlier
your.
before the
Hmm?
space crashed because I had a space earlier when Ima and everyone was here. I was asking, at what point really did Wike become so powerful? When? At what, if you look back, at what point in our political history did Wike become this behemoth that cannot be shaken in politics right now? Do you know?
Well, politics, everything is all about timing and luck, you know. So it's just that as it stands, the cards he's playing, have been working out for him. It doesn't really mean that he's the most powerful politician, right? And him too, he understands the act and the game of survival too, right? So he's really positioning himself, in a way that he becomes useful. Everybody knows that as in Nigeria today, the most powerful politician is the president, right? They did the president decides to get rid of him, he will get rid of him and no heavens will fall. But he can't get rid of him because Wike as it stands is still a very useful person. Don't forget too, right? Don't forget his predecessor, Amechi, has been in government consistently, right? For since 1999. So the only time he has not been in government was in 2023, right? When Tinubu entered office. So are you going to say that during that period too, if you ask this question, would you say, oh, Amechi is the most powerful politician in Nigeria? No, it's not. It's all about timing. I think the last speaker that was speaking, said something. And if you want to put it into proper context, had Obi didn't even leave PDP and splitted the vote, that would have been the end of this guy now in 2023. Just the way 2023 was the end of Amechi, 2023 would have been the end of this guy to Wike if Tinubu didn't win. So it's not it's a matter of time and chance. Even the Bible says that the race is not to the swift, right? It's time and chance happen to everyone. So this is his own time, this is his own chance, and all that. So he's selling with the wind. But I do expect that his time will also come to an end. Everything, there's nothing that doesn't come to everything comes to an end. So he's just enjoying, the fame, the moment, and everything. Look, it takes one election cycle to end Wike's, decades of the dominance in politics. In fact, I think, and I'm not saying it from a prophetic point of view. I like saying things prophetically, those that know me, but I'm saying it on a realistic point of view as someone that is a political analyst and a political student that knows how this thing works. Once Tinubu is defeated in 2027, the next person that will be seeing himself in the court of, in the courtrooms going around, just the way they did to Godwin and Emefiele, will be three people. One will be this weekend, except he runs from the country the day before Tinubu hands over and seek asylum. If he remains in Nigeria on May 29, that is a man they will pick up. And in fact, himself, he knows it. He's a smart person. If you watch him, he's a smart person. So he knows that what is keeping him relevant is just, that they're in power. So another person will be Dave Umahi, the Minister of Works. That's another person that will find himself, in trouble. And so let him enjoy his fame, right? Already everything has lined up to use against him. We have seen the document that show that he has bought 3 houses in the United States for each of his children. one in Florida, I think there are two in other locations that they reported in that exclusive report in People's Gazette. And also, he has been cornering land in in FCT so far for himself. I mean, he gave his son 100 hectares here and there. He caught invasion of Abuja land. So it is part of when the gods wants to destroy someone, it first makes you run mad, right? You think that you are so powerful, there is no end to all these things. There is always an end. So what he is trying to bank on, which I see his game plan is trying to do everything possible. That is why you see he is even doing the ultimate sacrifice, you know, pull down PDP, make sure everywhere is scattered so that Tinubu can win. So that once Tinubu win that 2027, he now will position himself to become vice president in 2030. So he's seeing himself, surviving in the corridor of power at least for the next 20, 30 years if everything aligns with him. But in politics, it doesn't align the way you always think, right? It takes one election cycle, just one election like this. Everything you have worked for just goes down, crashes. In fact, they'll collect everything till even the pants you are wearing. They will collect everything, right? So he should just enjoy the film, but he's
So,
not
so,
the star.
so, doctor, that I hear you, and I mean, you may be right, right, but that wasn't my question. My question was, when exactly, did he become this powerful? When, at what point in our political history did Wike's fortune turn, turn so drastically that, he speaks so, without any sort of filter, is so brash, like he doesn't care, knowing fully well that nothing's going to happen to him. At what point was it when he became governor? Was it,
No,
can it
when
be
he became
traced
so
even farther
powerful,
back?
when Wike became that powerful for me, is when he became minister for FCT, not when he was minister for state for education, not even when he was the governor of Rivers State. What has really propelled him, to this position is his proximity to power in Aso Rock. You see, the center of power in Nigeria is in Aso Rock. That is where the power is. Once you exercise that power, either directly as a president or you exercise it on behalf of the president, that gives you real power. So he is now exercising a lot of power on behalf of unchecked powers, right? On behalf of the president, because the president has given him leeway. If you look, how the president crowned him that power. I think I made a tweet on it. If you Google my tweet, you see it. The president single-handedly withdrew the FCT from the Treasury single account and handed over the FCT money, any money that comes into FCT, both the one that is generated, within the FCT and also the one that is from the federal allocation, goes directly to just an account that is managed by Wike. So it's Tinubu that made him who he is right now, made him as powerful as he is, then also gave him that leverage to do whatever he wanted to do in Rivers State. You saw how the way he treated a sitting governor. That is the handwork of Tinubu, because as a governor, you have constitutional immunity, just the way he had the constitutional immunity when he was governor, right? Nobody could do anything to him. So it is Tinubu that stripped the sitting governor of Rivers State of the constitutional protection he has and power, and allow Wike, to manhandle him. Now they just conducted, a local government election against the laws of the land, right? So the Tinubu just rubber stamp the illegality going on and allow Wike. So I think, if I want to be very honest with your question, right, the person that made him so powerful, or at what point he became so powerful for me, is when he was Mr. FCT. Because if you look at this trajectory from local government chairman, Minister of State for Education, governor, he wasn't any different from any other governor. I know
But
Rivers has, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
so, sorry. So, doctor, why did this president make him that powerful? Because if we look at, what he did in Rivers, was it that monumental? Was it that significant to Tinubu's win? The contribution of votes that he got in Rivers wasn't as significant. I mean, if Tinubu had actually got maybe less than 25% in Rivers, I don't think it would have affected, the overall, outlook of that particular election. So why is it so
Well,
special?
well, it depends. Look, you see, one thing about things like this is that when you look at it from now, because you are viewing it with the benefit of hindsight, right? You are viewing it now. But as at that time, you wouldn't have talked like this because then all of them were candidates, right? Tinubu was just a candidate. Obi was a candidate. Atiku was a candidate. They didn't have presidential powers. So the then president, which was late President Muhammadu Buhari, may so rest in peace, the way he was even going to conduct that election, it was very important. Every vote would have been important because then, he did that Naira design because he was trying to make sure that that election was not monetized with vote buying. So, as at that time, Wike would have been very useful to Tinubu because Tinubu was just looking for any help he would have gotten to get to that office then. So, even though you might start to look at it now and say it was just 300,000 votes, they didn't really change anything much. But you and I know that you wouldn't have guessed as at that time, right, in 2020, that 2023, whether the River State vote would have made any significant difference. So he,
Fair enough.
so sorry.
I said fair enough. Fair points. Fair points.
Yeah. So he entered that agreement with him because he thought it would, make a significant difference. But because we don't have that benefit of hindsight, you can now comfortably say that if you remove that 300,000 votes in Rivers State, he didn't really need it because one, he had 25% in 27 states. I think the constitution says in 24. So that means he had three more, excess of three more because he needed 24. And then if you remove 300,000 from his 8.7 million, but he would remain 8.3, which means he would have still won the election even if he had zero votes from Rivers State, right? But then we are comfortably saying that from now, like as at now, after everything has, played out. But then I don't think we would have comfortably predicted this. And
Fair
don't
enough.
forget, and you can go ahead, yeah. Mm.
I was going to bring in Alien X before we move on, Doctor. Please stay with us. Alien X, go
Sorry,
ahead.
yeah, Deji. See, but that question you asked, I always love listening to Dr. Udo. Dr. Udo gives beautiful analysis. But on that question, he will not answer you correctly on this question. I'm sorry to say, Dr. Udo. Wike has become who he is today because of the failure of PDP. And that is why he is almost indispensable to Tinubu, a master strategist. At a point in time, key stakeholders of PDP left the party. Wike was the one funding that party. Wike was the one doing almost every, he was like the lifeline of that party. He went into the primaries. Last minute, they did abracadabra for him. And Wike nursed that pain very, very well. And he now used everything with him to now fight the PDP by working with Tinubu. It was a smart calculation he did. Who would be able to win? Atiku people have pushed me out. It seems there's no way for me. Even when he was trying to push for VP and Atiku said no, because I know who this Wike is. He went. Tinubu, as you know, in fact, if you watch the timeline now, CPC faction now have gone to go and see Tinubu in Aso Villa now. So that CPC faction is now dancing with one leg that the ADC was caught in. Now they are now kind of dancing with one leg. And Wike did every single thing with his G5 to destroy the PDP and push everything for Tinubu. That is why Wike is this powerful till today. And I'm sorry to say, even if the president today gets angry and say, you know what, I'm flinging Wike out, Wike will still be a little, he will still be having some form of power because he controls very major structures in the PDP, which is the biggest, whether we like it or not. PDP still remains the biggest opposition till today. As a party, they still remain the biggest and the most viable opposition till today. So the emergence of who Wike is, I will blame it on the PDP. And I remember that time, Dr. Udo, like I said, I always love listening to your analysis. But I remember that time when you and Mindset would argue on spaces, you, Mindset, Oga Umar, and Mindset will be telling you this thing. This this way you are moving, Wike is gaining more grounds. Wike is gaining more grounds. I remember you people said it's impossible, is this, is that. Now look at where Wike is. He's the one literally deciding what the next step PDP makes. And this is not where we want it to be. Imagine Wike saying that Obi can never come to PDP. He's not a man of good character, so he will never come to PDP. And the truth of the matter is, if Obi goes to PDP, it is going down. So for me, I believe this power that Wike is now speaking with is not just because of River State. It is because of how he's able to control the PDP itself, to control the lifeline. Imagine Wike saying that if they don't take our, is it national secretary, it will not work. We go to court. If they don't take our own chairman, we go to court. We scatter everywhere. We do this. He's literally controlling them. In fact, somebody that they are supposed to discipline, expel, they cannot discipline, they cannot expel. They are even creating excuses for him. A lot of people are now following Wike's paths. There are some like Fayoshe, Governor Fayoshe, that is wearing PDP cap and this thing. So let's not try and sugarcoat it. I know Dr. Udo will not want to say it because he's a true and true PDP man in ADC, but that is the root cause of who Wike is right now. Wike is who he is because he controls this one of the strongest opposition party, and he is now having a lot of grounds with a lot of APC governors, mostly in the south. Right now, Edo State man is very loyal to Wike currently. Even Plateau State, that is a PDP man, Caleb Mutfwang, is very loyal to. There are a lot of governors that are very loyal to Wike now. And let's not even go to the judiciary part that is controlling like nobody. You can almost not win any case against Wike in the court currently. Wike would always come on top. So let us stop this. Let's stop sugarcoating it. It is Wike is who he is today because the party PDP did not manage that personality, and that is why he's behaving left, right, and center today. I yield the mic, I beg.
Interesting. Interesting. But Alien X, is it just about money? Like, do you just need to like throw money around here and there in your party to be somebody of note? Because even when he was governor and he was doing all those things, there were other state governors who were in the PDP. Surely they also had money. So was money really, really, the factor in his influence, in how his influence grew?
Honestly speaking, money was the factor. Let's not lie to ourselves. Wike was funding people's elections. Even Dino Melaye. Dino did not even hide it. Dino said it. Wike gave me money for elections. Is it Obaseki when Obaseki was still behaving well? Wike went to even campaign for him there. A lot of organs of the Wike was doling out millions of naira or dollars at will because he was controlling the most richest state in the world in Nigeria, one of the most richest states in Nigeria. And to some extent, he had a lot of this thing. So whether you like, he knows how to play the money politics. He knows how to get strategic alliances, and then he knew how to conquer the judiciary very well, and everything just played to his cards. He knew how to just, and then look at where we are now. Wike is literally number three most or number two most powerful person currently in Nigeria. I know some people will not agree with me, but that is the truth currently. You cannot win him in the court. You take him to the court, he beat you blue, black, and clear. I remember when he was saying that he will fight this thing Fubara with court. He said it live on TV. We will fight. In fact, there was a time he was even saying that it is 1-0, 3 more 0 to go. Exactly everything he was saying, boom, 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 it has been going his way. So at this point in time, the only person that is more powerful than him currently is Tinubu. And even Tinubu, if Tinubu fights against Wike, and Wike says, you know what, I want to go to the opposition, forgive me, I want to work with this person, they will take him because he's an asset, whether you like it or not. He's an asset and he will cause a lot of damage to Tinubu currently. So honestly speaking, I still blame the PDP. I feel like they would have done better managing Wike as a person. He would have not be here by now
Mr.
at
Deji,
all.
let me chip in something from where he has stopped there because I've heard what he said. I do agree.
Your mic is low, doctor.
My mic is on. Yes, I'm trying. I'm saying, am I audible?
No, no.
I'm not audible. Okay, hold on. Let me.
It's very, very low. All right. In the meantime, let's have
Is it okay now?
Okay, we can manage it.
Okay, okay. I hope it's okay. I think it's because I switched it from my car to my to this thing now phone. So let me just respond to what Elian just said because he spoke well and the things I want to clarify. Uh PDP, yes, has its problem. Is every political party has their own problem. But the point where he said PDP did not manage Wike well is where I think I do not agree with. Okay. How did PDP not manage Wike well? Okay. Wike went into a primaries that he lost, a primaries that he fully committed to the process. You saw it even the day of the convention where he made the vow that he will support whosoever emerges because he thought he was going to emerge. He did the work that was required to actually win that primary, but he didn't win. That is where his problem started, but not exactly at that point where he lost. Then he switched over trying to become the vice presidential candidate, which he now failed, and that is where hell broke loose. So when you say PDP did not manage him well, I mean you would have put it in a context where maybe I can be able to engage and maybe probe more further to see what could have been done differently. But the thing is that, you see, they say there's a saying that when you want to hang a dog, when someone wants to hang a dog, any excuse will do. There's nothing you would do. Once a person's mind is made up on what he wants to do, there's nothing you can do about it. Because I remember um Atiku met with Wike many times. They held a meeting in London. They held a meeting in Abuja to see how they can, bring him together and pacify. It didn't work. Even most of the people that were LP, the same thing happened. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo brokered a meeting, between Wike and Obi to see how he can help, Obi that was an LP. He still betrayed Obi. He was giving most of obedience now that hate Wike. They were loving him then because they thought he was going to work for Obi. He betrayed everyone. So let's just say this thing the way it is. Wike played his game the way he wanted to play it. It had nothing to do with what anybody would have done or how they would have managed him. That was what he wanted to do. And he cut his deal with Tinubu because I guess he felt that Tinubu maybe had a better chance to win. He's a politician. He knows how to read the room. He read the room very well. He read the thing. Because even me, like you said, or mindset, if you recall when me and mindset spoke to you, you would recall too that I kept saying on mindset space that Obi running this race will give Tinubu the win. I said it. People that heard me knew. I also knew that Tinubu was going to win that election. I said it. So if him as a politician stand and look and say, look, this Obi thing is not going to work, and Atiku is not going to win, who should I, come my, who should I pitch my tent with? He will pitch it with someone that he feel was going to win. And I think I remember the interview he talked about it and said that his plan was they will give the vote to Tinubu. If he doesn't come first, then the second will come to Obi. And that was what he did. And the person that he backed won. Okay? So, but as for who made him this powerful, for me, I still stick with what I said. That is Tinubu that made him powerful. The day Tinubu says, Wike, enough is enough. Forget it. Nothing will save Wike. That is how Nigerian politics is. The president is the alpha and the omega. He can turn daylight to darkness and vice versa, right? So he's only enjoying that limelight, enjoying all this, recklessness and all that, because Tinubu has allowed him. He has given him the leeway. The day Tinubu says it's over, it's over. He knows it. So let's not over, you know, let's not overhype Wike. Me, I'm someone that understand that he knows how to use power. Yes, he knows how to use it, but there is a limit to how he can use it if the president does not want him to, use that power. Yeah, over
Okay.
to you. Okay.
Thank you. Let's have Ramsey quickly.
Okay, thank you, Deji. Dr. Odo, you are the one who made me come up. I wanted to correct impression. I know people like to use certain um, language, you know, just so that things will look good. You said we can con that land. I think we can use the right language, but anyway, that's how you choose. How did he get power? Wike actually is an arrogant person, right? You see how he was speaking to people while he was a governor and being arrogant. He thinks that the treasury of River State belongs to him, that is his private wallet. And that is why he would take out this money to go and spend as he wants and leaving the people of River State, in a situation that they are today and will be in a long time. And that is not just wicked. A lot of people in positions do it, but it just like he himself was so arrogant. The way he was talking to people, he did not even talk to people as people. He did not address people as a servant that he is to the people. So, and that now he had opportunity to be with Tinubu to continue to, use that arrogance in FCT. And Tinubu probably endorse it, as you have said, Dr. Udo, you basically confirming that the president is endorsing anarchy in the FCT and River State by allowing this man to act outside of constitutional authority that he has. Is actually acting outside of the power that he has, outside of the constitution in some cases. And we're just looking at, yeah, it looks like we're happy to endorse, say, oh yeah, the president endorses it, that's fine to be out of. So let's go back to River State. They did election yesterday. The elected governor had elections, local government elections in that state, right? Shortly before, the president plotted and overthrew the governor and brought in a military personnel. Now, a military personnel now has the right, which right in the constitution, to arrange local government election that was already done and completed by an elected governor who has the constitutional power to do so. This person that did it yesterday, the other time, just is it last week, doesn't have the constitutional power to do so. That is null and void if it goes to Supreme Court. Because the other one was done by elected person. But Wike's arrogance and anarchy that is displaying is because of the situation. I heard Alien said, oh, he was boasting he will go to court, he will win. Why is he boasting that he will win in court? What is it telling us? Oh, is he indirectly telling us, yes, I have judges who are going to do my bidding. So I'm confident that I'm winning you in court. I have to boast today so that you don't even attempt. You don't even attempt. So these are things that we should look at. And we will come and blame Nigerians for this anarchy and banditry exhibited by this person and endorsed, as people have said here, by the president and the commander in chief. So, what are we saying? Well, the focus is weak. Let me not go to the peripheral issues. But it seems to me, for me, the peripheral issues are more important than Wike himself, because the peripheral issues are he's committing crimes. He's destroying the the peace of Nigeria. And we are quiet. Oh, because the president endorses it, because the president put him there, because he was a governor. No, he's a citizen, just like every other person. They say, oh, you put money in the PDP. That's why he destroyed PDP. PDP is an organization. Should one person be bigger than the whole organization that has so many members? How much was his salary? Let's go back to PDP. If he said he was the one who sustained PDP, who maintained the party, how much is his salary during the time that he was a governor? And how much of his salary did he put into PDP? Let's go back and see. Does it match his salary? So Nigerians should look for a way to speak, the truth, to look for what is um, logical and reasonable, not what it seemed to be like Abiru situation. That, oh yeah, he put money. Where does he get the money from? How much is the salary and allowances? Put it together. Let's see. So he is, telling EFCC, yes, I stole money. I committed financial crimes. But EFCC is turning the other way, right? Every time he's telling them that. So we should look at it, things, and challenge people so that they see the truth, see the crimes they have committed, in attempt to boast that they have power, because they do not have powers above their powers, whatever they think. It's not above the constitution of Nigeria. They're still under the constitution. So we shouldn't let Wike boast again of the crimes that he has committed. We should redirect every time he boasts. We should let EFCC appropriate and other appropriate government agencies know to now find a way to prosecute, to get him more investigation and get him to stand trial. I don't understand why we want a beautiful country, but yet we support people who are committing, anarchy, who are anarchists in nature, going against the Nigerian constitution, going up against the peace of the nation. So anyway,
Yeah.
Deji, I know you don't like people move out of your topic, but for me, Wiki is you put Wiki uh, here, but the peripheral issues are more important to me, and he's arrogant. That is why being arrogant in a lawless place. Not that the laws are not there, but it's just because people who should do carry out the enforcement are looking the other way when they see people in certain position commit, crimes. Thank you, Deji. Let me yield here.
Thank you, Ramsey. Um, I appreciate your contribution. All right. Afolabi, please go.
Yeah, thanks, Deji. Yes, I'll try as much as possible to stick to topic. Yes, I think WK qualifies as being is currently one of the most powerful politicians in Nigeria. But there are a couple of things I want to speak to. One is in terms of money. It's not just about money within Nigerian politics. Obviously, money plays a role, but it's not all about money. If it was all about money, then Atiku probably should have been the president of Nigeria many years ago. So there's something Wike is doing right, as well as having a lot of money to fund his activities. And people talked about the fact that he has cornered the judiciary. I completely disagree with that. He just tends to present credible cases. I mean, we have been on this platform where people say, oh, somebody should go to court. So, I mean, we need to decide, do we believe in this judiciary or we don't believe in this judiciary? In one breath, If you don't like a particular politician, you say they've cornered the judiciary. But in another breath, you say, oh, somebody should go to court. So in that one, he has not cornered any judiciary. He presents a credible case, and maybe that's why he's winning. Then somebody talked about the PDP primaries that he lost. Well, that primary was rigged, and I mean, PDP. That's the reason why PDP is where it is today. So it wasn't a fair contest, or else he probably should have won it. It was rigged. And is he? Somebody talked about Tinubu is the one that makes him powerful. I disagree with that. He's already a politician with value. So, independent of the current president, I think he will still remain a powerful politician because he seems to kind of play his cards right. So, I mean, let's just accept it. The man knows what he's doing. Simple and
So,
short.
so brother, so you think if, for instance, again, we are just hypothesizing at this point,
Yeah.
but if, for instance, he wasn't a minister and he was just an ex-governor, he would still have this much sway in PDP.
Well, I mean, like you said, that is a difficult one to answer because the PDP currently now is in crisis. So I don't know. That's a different. It's a different case. It's a different scenario. So if PDP was not in crisis and it wasn't in power, it would still maintain a lot of influence. So he plays. It's to debase that his influence is only based on money. I completely disagree with that. Money is answer to all things, but we know in Nigerian politics is sometimes there's a limitation to where your money will take you because there's people who have a vast amount of fortune and they're still not the president. Even the current president, I mean, even with all his fortune, he had to fight tooth and nail to get to where he is. So there's something he's doing right.
So I was saying earlier that under Tinubu's government, Wike seems to have gotten almost everything he has asked for. Maybe not asked in like if you get, it's just as a manner of speaking, right? Just
Yeah.
everything he has fought for, he has gotten it. And I'm
Okay.
thinking, is it that? So, who is indulging who? Is it the president that is allowing these things, or is just as equally as powerful as the president? Like, can Tinubu actually afford to be on the bad side of Wike?
Well, I think when you say he's got everything he's want, I mean, everything is asked for is what is in line to what is appropriate. I mean, if you want to speak to what happened in River State, I mean, that was his. He placed that governor in power. The governor went rogue. Burned down the legislative house, starting, there were a couple of activities that he was doing which was anti-democratic. So I don't see it as him getting what he wants. It's just unfortunate that, not everything, what is not even unfortunate, it's just fortunate that he is on the right side of the law most times. It's as simple as that. So it's not like the president is not indulging him. He just finds himself on the right side of the law,
But
which
are
is
you not
fortunate for him.
worried that his braggadocio is continuous, you know him just picking fights with everyone he has dealt with at any particular point in time may also spill on Tinubu at some point in the future?
I mean that can happen. That can happen. It could happen that in the future they might not align. But which is, I mean, I think we need to give it to the fact that at least he speaks his mind, you know, and that's what we need. I mean, I would rather go with somebody. I mean, I used to tell a lot of my friends. This is just a funny story. I worked with a lady. I don't know if anybody's seen The Devil Wears Prada, a funny romantic comedy about a crazy boss. I worked with a woman like that before, and she was very horrible. But till today, that was the best manager I've ever worked because I knew where I stood. She was very direct, gives you everything you want, but demands results. And I cannot see it really wicked like that kind of individual. He's very brash. He will give you 100% loyalty, but he expects it back and he expects results. So I think, yeah.
Mr. Deji, I was wondering if you could ask your guest now, since he said that there is no evidence about Wike influencing the judiciary, right? Let's go by what he said. So how is he able now to convincingly tell you that Governor Fubara burned down the assembly, right? Because that's actually arson and is a crime. So I don't know how he's able to confirm that that was the person that burned the this thing, right?
I can't confirm,
You
but
can't, but you said that authoritatively. But everybody heard you, right?
yes, I
When you
said
said
that, but
that.
I can't. You said, can I confirm? I can't confirm.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because you were sure, right,
No,
that Wike doesn't have any like a connection in the judiciary, that no matter how his case is. I mean, from what you have said, right, because it's only connection, we are connoting here, that
Yes,
he's so good that all his cases always seem to be the one, that the judiciary will side with. Even the ones that clearly, like even his own case, when he was the governor, he lost at the tribunal, lost at the Court of Appeal, and all that, and it was actually a simple case, to be honest. But then somehow the Supreme Court threw it out on technical grounds. But you are now saying that there is no evidence that he has any relationship with the judiciary, that he just simply because he happens to have he's good, he has a good case and blah, blah, blah. So I would have loved you to maintain that consistency,
I
right?
mean,
yeah,
at the end of the day,
I
right?
am.
Sorry, doctor. Sorry, doctor. Sorry. Please let me mute your mic. So, at the end of the day, if we are trying to be technical, there's really no evidence, right? You can infer. You can say, "Oh, how come he's winning this case? How come he's winning this case?" But nobody can like authoritatively, like, unless there's actually like evidence of him, corrupting a judgment. We are only going to just, allege and infer. That's the best we can do. Nobody is gonna, unless you are saying that you have concrete evidence that suggests that he.
No, no, but sorry, Deji, sorry to interject you, but how is it possible? There is a study that is showing that 93 point something percent of cases Wiki has gone to, he has won 93 point something percent.
Yeah, those numbers
And
are staggering. But at the end of the day, if there's no actual, you don't get it. Like I'm only responding like this, because it looks like Dr. Udo wanted to go technical, and if we are going technical, then we also don't have any evidence that he has
No,
corrupted.
I'm not disputing his case, right? Because he made a right point that you cannot, infer. There is no evidence. So I was only trying to make him be consistent with what he said, because he cannot now, in that same breath, now come and now say that this man burned down, the state house, when he cannot even produce evidence to show that he burnt it down. I was only trying to make him to be fair to both sides and be consistent with the standard he set himself. Yeah, that was my point. As for the judiciary Wike, I don't have any evidence myself to prove whether he's corrupting the judiciary.
Hold
I
on,
don't
can
have
you
it.
guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Guys, I beg, Mona help me coordinate on self. I they come. I beg. I beg. No fight, oh, I beg. Mr. Bamidele, go on.
In the absence of Mr. Bamidele speaking, okay, go ahead, go
Uh,
ahead, go ahead.
Deji, I want to join Sonat. I will come back maybe in about 10 minutes. Sorry. I wait. Sonat just started. I have to join. I will come back in about 10 minutes.
Okay, so if Mr. Deji is a bit busy, I would just like to chime in. I understand what the last speaker was saying, because at some point in our lives, we have to be objective. Objectivity will help you to actually look at things dispassionately and find solution to issues, as an individual. Don't let your mind be plugged by your, let's say, sentiments or partisanship, biases, or probably emotions, right? Okay, so this individual called Mr. Nyesom Wike, he's not a role model to me for my own personal reasons, for my own perspective and evaluation of all he's done, even when you would say, "Oh, what has he done, and what evidences do you have?" But I don't think he embodies. Just like a lot of people are not cool with Donald J. Trump, right? So I'm not cool with him. Probably later on, someone may write a book about him, or maybe want to tell us about his political acumen. Oh, he is always on the right side of the law. Probably he's a very good lawyer that never practiced. A very good lawyer, and probably his legal mind that has married his political mind that is giving him so much success rates at the judiciary that he can actually even beforehand fortune tell what an outcome of a case will be. He actually told us that back then in 2023 that Tinubu was going to win at the election petitions tribunal. He was actually even celebrating, and so probably is a genius, but to me an evil genius. But there are still some things about him that are questionable, and that you can question within the purview of rule of law, the purview of constitutional democracy, and so everything is not cool with him. Uh, I, I don't think I don't think we can manage reverse funds. Yes, that's speculative because alluding to the fact that he bankrolled PDP when there was nobody in PDP, and he said something in his press conference yesterday that the likes of Atiku, the opposition, are looking for a way how they can capture reverse take. They're looking for funding, where they can get funding. So it points to the fact that our polity is still very, very, what's it? It's something you still do with money. Like you have to go and look for funding. So if Wike claims it was the financier of PDP, and now PDP should kowtow to him, then probably should explain to us where he got this funding from. Did the Rivers State House of Assembly approve a budget for PDP for Wike to rescue, like the title of the budget will be called Wiki PDP funding or rescue mission to fund PDP across the Tennessee state or to keep PDP alive? Did River State approve any such budgets? River State House of Assembly approve any such budgets that Wiki can draw from or that he drew from? Because he claims that he was the one there he financed PDP, like the last speaker alluded to, and all that and all that. So where did he get his money? Is it the 1 million plus he receives every month, minus allowances and other special extra quotes and impresses that he funded PDP with? So I dare say Wiki is corrupt. And more so, I think they should also tell us how legal or how right it was with what happened in Rivers State in 2023, where we saw what happened with the election results in Rivers. We've listened to recordings. You say AI. We've listened to recordings that depicted that it was Wike giving instructions and speaking to some authorities and telling them, if you don't do this, I will kill you. If you don't do this, I will. Oh, AI, fine, right? So until we subject this man, this character, to forensic analysis and deep evaluation by agencies of government that are independent, that really would do their job, you know, until there is a probe of his personality in all ramifications, I don't think he's a powerful politician. I think he's just someone who has taken advantage of the lapses in the system and the polity, and he's beginning to manifest himself. It's like a virus. If a virus doesn't, it's a virus or a bacteria or whatever, an infection or a disease does not get the right antidote, it will begin to manifest and multiply itself. So I'm seeing his personality multiplying itself in our polity because our institutions are weak and we don't have a federation where the presidency or whatever who is in charge or the agencies will be able to do the checks and balance. Let's even talk about the three organs of government, judiciary, legislators, and all. I don't think the Rivers Assembly was fair with what they did with Fobora. If it was an arm of government that was independent, I don't think they had to kowtow. I don't think it's also right for you to claim you installed someone as your predecessor. I don't think that's democratic. I don't think it is. If it was by popular vote, we will hear. But we know what's been happening in Rivers State with regards to elections and all the malpractices, all the killings. We saw youth about that were killed in 2023 election and all that. So he's not a saint. It may seem the devil is powerful, It may seem very powerful, and he may seem to have a lot of resources in his hands and all that. The devil is also very powerful. Those who believe in that line of thought. So I don't believe he's a personality that should be embodied as um a genius of some sort, or someone who should be studied, or someone who should be reverend, or become a role model, or he may or he may or someone should go under him as a mentee. I think he's everything wrong with a decent society. I don't know if Deji is back, so someone else can speak. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I think I wanted to respond to Afolabi, and I don't know how to put it because I think I don't just want people to start getting flare up, but if we can look at it very clearly, Afolabi was being, so dishonest with his position and submission. In the sense that he said a lot of things that really talks down on intellectualism in the conversation. I would like to say that politicians and their history, of most recent time, the Fourth Republic, is one that most of us are very abreast of. Apart from their secret dealings of political manipulations, but how they ascend, how they were bedded, most of us are well abreast with it, and the activity, what they do to, bastardize governance in the country is also what we have also known of. So I will say that, let me not get to Afolabi direct. It's always beautiful that, as you did say, that we make submissions with intellectualism and objectively, because Wike, as Dr. Odo said, wasn't, one that is being empowered by PDP, or that PDP couldn't have gotten control of Wike. Wike as a person could have done whatever he wants to do. In fact, Wike decided not to support some people because he believed that he will not be given the room to do his shenanigans. So he believed that, where his character can play in a full blown, is where he is now. So he leaned his support to that. And I don't know if we all can look at it very strategically. We will accept that, if, for example, maybe Peter B won the election, Wike would not have gotten this far. Number two, if Atiku have won, he couldn't also have gotten this far, right? So he believed that where he is where he can get far. So, and he works out for him, and what transpired in the 2023 election. But as also most of us have agreed, is what he's doing because the president is empowering him. He doesn't have immunity. Let's not forget, there are allegations of land issues. There are allegations of mansion in Florida, and these things are not being looked into, or investigation are not being looked into all these allegations, right? Abuse of offices and whatnot have you, corruption cases in River State, all these things are not being looked into because, there is a thumbs up, from the most powerful man. And I say it, I don't know my point of view anyway. Wike is an efficient tool in the hand of the most powerful man now, who is the president. That's the truth.
Deji, can I go now? Hello,
I think you can
can
speak. You
anyone
can
hear me?
speak. I think you can speak. You can speak.
This is Bamidele. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Deji. Thank you for this space. I just like this topic. I find it very interesting and would like to just share my thoughts. My thoughts will not be political, will just be insight for us, everybody to just pay attention to learn. No, I'm not the teacher here. Just all of us will just look at the whole scenario of Wike exploits and learn from him. I think to start with, Wike is not the most powerful politician in Nigeria. That one can be stated as a statement of fact. And to reach that conclusion is just a no-brainer, right? Anybody can easily conclude that. The normal thing for a politician is to have enemies, to have opponents and adversaries and alike, right? The normal thing. Every politician is like that. But what is actually calling our attention to Wiki in all the battles? I have to just first of all put the caveat outside. Me and Wiki, we are never politically alike as a person. No, we are never politically alike. We just cross our paths in 2023 election while our leader took advantage of the schism in his party to get him on his side for electoral reason. Our leader in this case is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and even when he was taking that decision, I was not too happy, but it eventually paid off for the party in a way, right? And as in his victory. And I have a bitter side of it. I don't want to talk too much about that anyway. By which actually assisted my enemy in Oyo State. That is the current governor of Oyo State. So I've said that so that you guys will not say probably it's one thing or the other. I'm saying it. Wike has been lucky all along with weaker opponents. And most of the time his opponents are played to his hand. We must understand Wike is a very good politician. That is what he is. He is a very, 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 very good politician. And he's a smart one for that matter. And luckily for him, he has always gotten the weaker opponents. Even Atiku was a weaker opponent to him, played to his hand so easily. And then I will just make one or two examples so that we know who Wike is. Wike was the political engine and backbone that was identified by the first governor of the state in this republic, that is Peter Odili, to back Rotimi Amechi. The history has told us that, and it's very clear. The subsequent incidents in the political trajectory of the state of East, that is Rivers State, has actually vindicated that and validated that. Rotimi Amechi was not a politician. He was just an aide to Peter Odili. Under the influence of Peter Odili coming as a big man, who, of course, we all know he's a medical doctor. He practiced, he has outfits that was making good business for him. So, and Rotimi Amechi was one of his aides. As he was coming to government, Rotimi Amechi was not a politician, as I said. You know, when politicians are coming on board like that, they have angers on that they bring along. He brought along Rotimi Amechi to contest for state honorable, and state honorable is contesting for us to come from the zone of from the area of Wike. And it might interest you, right in 1999, the very first local government election they did, Wike was one of the ones that won the local government election in Rivers State, who came in 1999. Those are the first set of local governments. I think it was not 1999. It was barely a year. It was INEC that conducted that election under the supervision of Obasanjo as we're resuming democracy. It was later Obasanjo dropped the ball and allowed governors to be conducting it. So the set of Wike that's not the question. So Wike, for him to make a, a chairman of local government in that year 1999, between 1999 and 2000, right? That should tell us who he was as a politician. So now, but he was a friend to Amechi by virtue of his loyalty to Peter Odili, who sought the protection of a non-politician Rotimi Amechi uh, Wike. So this short story will tell us. So as they were all PDP together, when Amechi had problem with Peter Odili or with Obasanjo, I don't know who we actually have problem with. When they replace him, the ticket, when they replace his ticket, when they change his nomination for PDP for that of Celestine Meya, Wike was part of the people who back Amechi against that travesty of justice, and they joined him in going to court while Rotimi Amechi was seeking external support from outside PDP to get along with the people. But they were the political engine that was backing on Rotimi Amechi, right? So that was why when Rotimi Amechi made it, automatically Wike became his chief of staff, right? So that was the relationship. They were all like that. There was no fight between them. Of course, they were together until 2011 when Jonathan became president. So, according to Rotimi Amechi, who would not take from him, he said he was the one that pushed him upward to go and work with Mr. President. Probably Mr. President, then Jonathan talked to him that he needed his service. So that's why he went. That's how he left Rivers State. Because he's a politician, he was always going to be smarter at doing grassroots things and getting hold on structure better than people who is less of a politician. No, I want to fast it forward. So unfortunately for Rotimi Amechi, he had issue with the first lady, who was the then first lady who is from Rivers State. That is President Jonathan, and Wike took his battle right. He take the side of the first lady, being the minister in government of Jonathan. So when they have to have a year at cross purposes there, he defeated Rotimi Amechi. That was a more or less a level playing ground because Rotimi Amechi was a governor. He was should be able to wield with sufficient power. Somebody, I'm having some feedback. Can you hear me? I don't dey see myself two places. So can somebody mute his mic? Hello, hello, hello. You don't go.
We are hearing you. We are hearing you.
All right. So in 2015, 2014, when the problem was happening between so he took his battle right. He was on the side of HS Jonathan, and being on ground as a grassroots, right from Abuja, he still defeated Rotimi Amechi, though he contested to be a governor, and Rotimi Amechi had a candidate in that election, which was who was that person sef? It was not was yes, it was Peter side. Yes, it was Peter side. The Kuku Peter side. Yes. That was the candidate of Rotimi Amechi under APC. And being the person on ground as a grassroots man and understanding the way they do their politics in Rivers, he defeated that person. So that is an indication of what I'm talking about. Fast forward, Rotimi Amechi became very powerful in government of Buhari. Yet, as a sitting governor, there is no battle that happened between him or war that happened between him and Rotimi Amechi in government as a federal minister, very powerful federal minister for that matter. Because some people had weaker portfolio and they were able to constitute havoc in their states. But Rotimi Amechi, despite having a very powerful, very juicy, everything you want to give to the ministry, you can give it to it. He couldn't, he didn't win any single political battle against Wike in all those years. All those 8 years they spent in government together. While Rotimi was in Abuja, and you look, PDP was no longer in power. So he has all the federal mind to deal with him. But unfortunately, in fact, Wike used his political sagacity and skills to destabilize APC in the state to the extent that APC was disqualified. He used to instrumentality of the law, not of action, grievances, and by the time it was 2019, they banned APC from contesting election, all election in Rivers State. Everybody can remember that. That is why I said he chooses his battle rights because he's smart and he will always see a favor. So when you look at that, he defeated Amechi. That's what tells us that he's very strong. He's a much stronger politician. And now, when unfortunately Amechi became a former this thing, Amechi unfortunately still fell into his hand again by not using his camp right, by pitching his head against the candidate of the party who was President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, right? So, and unfortunately for Wike too, there was problem in PDP. I would not want to go to detail of that so that I will not waste anybody's time. So, the smart politician Bola Tinubu reached out to him. Can we work together? You want a Sada president, I'm a Sanda candidate, and I'm strong. Though we share different parties, but we can have this common goal so that the presidency can come back to the south. And he agreed. And somebody that should be a leader of the party, APC, in the state, which is Rotimi Amechi, he was sleeping by because he was still having grudge. He should have been the person that will get the party's ticket. So when you look at that in scenario, he still chose his battle rights. His opponent, who was supposed to be Rotimi Amechi to curtail his political presence in Rivers State, he chose the wrong battle. He's not the one that chose that of Amechi for him now. Amechi is not the one that said Amechi be fighting Tinubu. If Amechi actually hold group on the structure of the party, he can exert his leadership. Of course, that opportunity will not be open for Wike to be negotiated with. Because ordinarily APC will be looking for 25% in Rivers, not winning Rivers. Rotimi Amechi, Wike did the miracle. He made sure APC won. And that is what gave him a strong mouth, a very big mouth in Tinubu's government. Inyeneba, as he used to say it, agreement na agreement. Since he delivered, Tinubu has got to pay him back. And that's why he got so strong in his government today. And the strength he has in government is not the reason why he defeated, what is his name? What do you call his name now? Fubara. He's not. He's just a catalyst. I'm sorry, he's just a catalyst because his opponent, Fubara, to flee to Fubara page now, chose wrong battles. Yes, in all the step of the way, he was choosing wrong battle. And I heard somebody saying they accuse him of burning down state assembly. No, that was political statement. The court never sanctioned him for burning down the state assembly, right? Actually, the court sanctioned him for demolishing the parliament, an arm of government, not physical building. If you can understand that, that is what is actually go to all the judgment that happen. If you actually study the judgment, the court sanctioned him because what he did was that he got a faction of the assembly, 3 of them or 4, handful of them. He set up an office for them in government house. Meanwhile, he disrecognized the substantive number, which is a greater number. How this kind of politician you have smaller number of people? You said they are going to be your majority. You are going to recognize them as state assembly because Fubara played to their hand. Where those people pretended they defected from the party, but officially they never defected. And unfortunately this thing is game, it's just like football. Just like leg over or somebody that want to dribble you. Use body movement. He took your attention away from this thing, or you do something so that your attention is you lose focus and you get away with it. And that's what happened between him and Kubala. So we just get lucky there that his opponent in Fubara, he chose a wrong battle and he was not smart. How will you be holding on to minority? You are the governor. You can't even get 10. You can't even get 1/3. You can't even get There are 32 house. If Fubara was able to get just 11, there is nothing we can do again. It is not Wike that didn't get him that now. It's him because he's a stronger, he's a weaker politician. And you don't start a battle, you have nothing to fight. Because that principle of just 11, it is what saved Ladoja. Ladoja was weaker than Adedubu in Oyo State. But Ladoja has 11 people. Where Baba had not 2/3. And the law says you must have 2/3 to have an overwhelming majority of the house. So Wike is having more than overwhelming majority. A sitting governor will not even get 11 people on his out of 32. Is it Wike that caused that? So he chose his right battle. That is why he's so it's not the court. He didn't have any overbearing pressure on the court. So when they get to court, there is no way that person that even chose a wrong political strategy is going to defeat him. And look at it this way: the assembly, somebody is the constitution recognized the fact that the minimum number of member of parliament in Nigerian constitution, that is by the statute, is 24. Minimum. And the minimum quorum you can have is 1/3 of that 24. Minimum quorum you can have is 1/3 of that 24. That is 8 members. Now Rivers State is now claiming when you are having false allegation that majority members are defected, so they have lost their seat. And their loss of seat is not sanctioned by any law, just your own individual interpretation of the law. And you are taking it. And these people are holding on, saying they have not defected. They have the law on their side. So whatever way you interpret the law, the arbiter is the court. And whatever interpretation of the court overrule your interpretation or my interpretation. So if I'm lucky, my interpretation is aligned with the interpretation of the court, that stands. That's the constitution of the country. And that's what favored Amechi, not because favored Wike in the court, not because he was close to bread, not because his wife is a judge. Though the fact that he is a lawyer himself and he has a judge as wife can get him sufficient and rich advice that some people may not have. That is not impossible. That's why he's always, I like what somebody said, he's always finding himself on the right side of the law because he's a lawyer. You know, the lawyers that were advising Fubara, they were deceiving him. They were collecting his money. Because it's clear now. There is also, and when the court want to decide matter, it will decide matter on the merit and evidence you present before them, not the bully the ranting of bullies or the number, the cacophony, not the pitch of the cacophony of the noises in the political discourse, in the public space. No, it doesn't care, it doesn't count. It is the law that we count. And you can see Fubara and you can see Wike too, as a politician, is in the good side of the, of relationship with the lawyers, with the people that matter in the bar. You can count that for him too. You can count that for him too. It's not the reason why other people are not like that. That is politician. He built a law school in Rivers State to support the law. He built quarters for judges in Rivers State to support the judges. He has put himself in their good book. If they want to subject to emotion, they will favor him. It's clear. Yet, he still have a good case. How are you going to defeat him? So, when you just look at it, he's not the most powerful, but he's just a good politician and smart one. And he's found himself on the good side of the law. So the law is the law. There's nothing you can do to it. You can interpret it your own way. If the court interprets it my own way, I have the way. I'm on the good side. If you interpret it in your own way and the court is on your side, you are on the good side of the law. That is what is the law. It's not because of your interpretation. You not say your interpretation of the law or MBA say their interpretation of the law is the law. No. The interpretation of the law is not MBA stand. It is the stand of the court is the interpretation. And not even Attorney General of the Federation stand. But if you have not challenged the sound of vibration of the law before a court, he stand holds water more than you. That's the hierarchy of the interpretation. The Attorney General of the state or that of the Federation, if he has an interpretation of the law, right, and you don't challenge that before you overrule him, his interpretation stand because he's the civil law officer of the country. If you understand that, because that is why the interpretation of the law
that favor Yaya Bello nomination in APC in those days when Abubakar died during the election that eventually brought in Yaya Bello, it was Malami's interpretation they use as the law. And nobody challenged that interpretation. They didn't challenge it, and that's why he has his way. That's why they substituted Yaya Bello. That is the law. It became the law. If other people challenge that interpretation, he doesn't hold again. So by the time what is his name challenged the process, that is Faleke, he was technically knocked out because of the process, the way he filed the process, he couldn't make it again. So the issue of the argument of John Chike did not work for him because they declared election inconclusive. And he could not establish the election was not conclusive. These are the things. So these are the things that it is. So we should understand this and look at the scenario on its merit for us to learn. If you want to join politics too, so that we can find a way, we get ourselves better equipped to go to the battle. Politics is a game. The smarter politician is going to have it. Just like the battle between Arsenal and Man U. And you know, for those of you in national camp, you know Man U has won you more than the number of times Arsenal has won Man U. It's because Man U is better and smarter in the game. That is why it is. It's not because Man U knows FA. No. Or has influence on the FA. No.
If someone is listening to you now, they will feel that Nigeria is a perfect society, that there is no problem at all. In fact, everything works.
No, no, no.
From what you have
No,
said
no, no.
now,
You can ask your
no, I'm
question.
not asking you a question. I don't have to ask you a question because there is no point. You have already celebrated all the things that is happening in the country. There's no problem with the judiciary. Everything
I'm
is
not talking of what is happening in the country. Oh.
Bamide, allow him speak. Allow
I
him
don't know why
speak.
you get that
Bamide,
from.
you don't
no,
talk
no.
over each other.
You have
The-
celebrated now.
don't let all.
You said
No,
there's no
sir.
problem
No,
that
I'm not celebrating what is happening in the country. Why are you like this
how why
now?
no, I'm coming.
Why are you like
How
this
am I
now?
like
We are
no
talking about
I've been
Wike.
listening to you
You are
now.
talking about country.
I've been listening to you. What does that have to do with
Is
what you are
Wike the
saying?
country? Why are you
What
like
does
this?
that
Is
have to do
Wike the
with what you are
country?
saying? Now you have spoken, everybody have heard you. There's about the 101 people on stage.
So why are you saying I'm celebrating the country? I'm not talking about the country. I'm talking about Wike
Oh, you are
now.
talking about Wike. Okay, I'm also talking about Wike. I'm talking about
Yes.
Wike. Hold on, I'm talking about Wike too. It's Wike we are talking about. You have come here. You have said Wike has done this and has done that. His politics and all that. Then you also went on to justify whatever cases that has gone his way, and started citing instances, right? But but if anybody's listening to you now, they would think that the country has no problem. But even the judiciary that you are even citing there, they themselves have admitted that they
See,
have problems with the
hello,
judiciary,
hello,
right?
hello,
And that and
hello,
that
hello.
and that they,
Let me,
and that
let
they
me.
will work
I
to
don't, I
restore
don't think I have that.
they will work to restore
Hold
the
on
confidence
now.
of
Hold on, hold
Nigeria.
on, hold on, hold on. Mute your mic, mute your mic,
No,
mute
mute
your
your
mic,
mic
mute your
first. You have
mic,
been
mute your
speaking
mic.
now. Shebi, you
Let
know
me.
the
No, no, no,
speaker.
no. You can't be the one to curate my
Bamide,
For
opinion.
allow
the
him
for the
speak.
last
You are
We'll
not the
go
host.
after.
haven't you been
Allow
speaking?
him speak.
You are not the host.
I don't have to
You
be
are
the
not the
host.
host. You are
I don't have
bullying
to be
me.
the
You are not
host.
the
Then
host.
I don't have to allow you to speak because you have been
Yeah,
speaking for
you can't
15
bully
minutes.
me
You
now.
have
You
been
cannot
speaking
bully me.
for
You are not
15
making sense
minutes.
to bully
Everybody
me.
can listen
I'm
to you
entitled to
here.
my
You are
opinion.
entitled, yes.
You can't
Let
tell
me
me
be
the
entitled
opinion
to
to
mine
hold.
too.
If you cannot have
Let me
your
be
sense to
entitled to
reason.
mine too. I'm trying to speak my own
Yes, now,
opinion.
I'm the one that have the floor now. You can't speak over me.
No, we allow you to go on the floor. You came and
When
mentioned
I
other people on
finish,
the floor,
when
right?
I drop the mic, go.
No, no,
No, no, you can't tell me to stop.
it is an
I have
open
the
floor.
time.
So if
The
you
host
want
has
to
not
be
said I'm so
cordial, you
far.
can be cordial. So the host has left.
Hello,
The
hello.
host actually left the
Whatever. You
floor
will not
and
have. You
gave.
can't talk over me now.
No, no.
I'm not the reason why you cannot think.
I'm not here to insult. So if you are so stupid and you think that going
I
to
can insult
no,
you because
you don't have to
you are
insult
getting
me. You
belligerent
don't
and
have to insult
indecorous.
me. I didn't insult
I
you.
will
I
insult
didn't
you
insult
because
you.
you have insulted me. You are still talking
Insulted you
over
how?
me.
How did I insult you? In what way?
How can you be talking over me? You are not decorous.
What did I insult you with?
What is
Who are you?
wrong?
Who are you?
Yes, now, yeah, it's an insult.
Who are you?
It's an insult. I don't.
You
Yes,
have been
now, that's still
speaking
asking who
for
I am.
15 minutes.
It's wrong for me
Is
to
it
have an
are
opinion
you the
because you
one that
cannot
opened this
reason.
space? They'll speak for 15 minutes. and nobody can speak.
Are you the one? Are you the one that allocate time? Who are you to
Nobody,
allocate
yes,
time? Are you the host?
nobody allocated time, and nobody also told you that it is your fault.
And then
The host had left this space, and you just came and started speaking, and you don't want another person to speak. Where has he even gone to? The guy has left. Okay, he came here to celebrate what is going on in the country. If the country is that good, I don't think people will be almost picking things from the dustbin to eat. Come and celebrate mediocrity here. That's very, very wrong. You you can go ahead and say what you want to say instead of trying to gaslight everybody. Just gaslighting people because this man has happened to be, you know, happened to be in bed with those in power now. So that means whatever he's doing is right. It can't be right. No, it
Dr.
can't be.
Odo,
We can be
Dr.
objective.
Odo,
It can't be right.
Dr.
Yeah.
Odo, at some point, he started well, right? I think where he got it, where he it became a bit very not cool, like you rightly pointed out, is when he started going into the realm of absolutes, absolute sanctity, and trying to state that all things being equal. He also contradicted himself when he said Wike built houses he built a law school. He's close to that's already a bias, right? He's close to the some top luminary persons. Wike has kind of tried to get himself into the legal line because he's a lawyer and all. That's already a bias. And something striking in all he said, though he was able to give an account of how Wike progressed or how he surfaced in our polity. I think where he got it wrong that I was going to fact check him or I wanted him to kind of answer to was the realm of absolutes where he was saying um he Wiki seemed to get it right. So it can all be aligning for Wiki. It can all just be aligning for him. It doesn't work that way. you know you cannot come and say in the realm of absolute that all things being equal. I've seen Nigerians, right? Nigerian politicians or those in the politics get different kind of judgments in other climes in other places in the world. What's his name? Former deputy senate president from the east, Ikwe, right? He's still in jail in the UK. Former Governor James Ibori, who was declared non-culpable in Nigeria, was found guilty in the UK. Desiani Alice Maduke had cases to answer in the UK. Um, so we because our polity is not perfect, we cannot disabuse our mind from the fact that our institutions right now are not in the state they used to be when we had the likes of Oputa, Justice Esau, Oputa of blessed memory, the Gani Faremis and all that. So he should have allowed a little space to say um, it's not a perfect system. Me, I don't believe Wiki is getting all these things he's getting because he's playing the right cards and all. And the last judgment on River State, there was actually a court proceeding in a lower court, I think the Federal High Court, that was ongoing. Had nothing to do with the submissions at the Supreme Court. That the Supreme Court gave a judgment on an item that was not even included in the petition that the Pro Wiki submitted, or rather his faction submitted. I can't recall, I can't put that up now, but I still recall that happened. For Supreme Court now to deviate from what was before it and trumpeted the case at the Federal High Court, giving a judgment or uh, giving speaking in a manner that made that case of no relevance anymore. Like it killed that case naturally. So you cannot tell me, like you telling me in Nigeria right now, that elections are perfect. No, No, don't do that. Or telling me, oh, um, police don't take bribe. It's like you telling me bail is free, right? So that's where he got it wrong. You cannot tell me bail is free. Yeah, you may be able to escape and sometimes. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I've been able to come back. Now I can talk.
Beautiful, beautiful, Mr.
I
Bamili
can
Daily.
talk now.
So I'm engaging you now.
You
I
see,
must,
you
Mr.
see,
Hold on,
we can have
hold
a
on, sir,
conversation.
sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
I'm going to yield the floor
Okay,
to. I'm
okay,
going to
okay.
yield the floor to you, right? So I want to. I actually learned a lot from you. In terms of your political depth, able to kind of give us a profile of how Wiki and how Amici was not able. Okay, I'll just pick it up. Sorry, just a moment. Thank you, Mr. Deji, for the privilege of coast. How Mr. Amici, I think you actually give us that. I don't know if I'm still audible.
We can hear you.
Thank you very much. You're able to let us. You were able to play that card of
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
politician. Thank you, thank you. You're able to give us that. That's that card of being a politician and being an administrator, or being a politician without political skills. How Rotimi Amechi had one of the most biggest ministerial portfolio attached to him, and how he was not able to make impact in River State, his home state, and as a state, and all that happened. I really enjoyed that part of your conversation. In as much as we're not dealing with absolutes, also knowing people are different, everybody would not want to go the very, very cruel way, of wanting to do everything by all means, spilling blood, corrupting institutions, and being overbearing, being undemocratic. So, Mr. Bambilili, where I will yield the mic to you is at that point where you would have to now let us tell us if all these things you've said are absolutes. And when I say absolute, in all things being equal, by your sense of judgments, if there is no bias that Wiki has established in his closeness with the judiciary and legal minds, if there is no bias in him using his um, his authority as a former governor or being in the arms of affair to hold River State hostage and making sure other political party do not even breathe. We saw what happened to Dakuku, Peter's side. You saw the elections. How Dakuku was not able to get. Dakuku was going to go to court, Mr. Bamidele. But Dakuku was not able to get what's it called? Document from INEC, right? We saw what happened. How they bullied him out of the INEC center. How they made sure the mad guard. So
No,
is that
aside
politics?
from that
Yes,
That
go
was
ahead.
not that
case,
cuckoo
right?
now. That was not that
Also,
cuckoo now.
you can
This
even
was that was
cite
just
the
a kidding. That
instance
was not
of
that cuckoo.
maybe the Supreme Court ruling in Imo State where they make a foot to become first. His idea is that once you win at the Supreme Court, that means everything is right, right? So we cannot build a society like that. We have to build a society where we can, you see, build on things, right? We can acknowledge where the way things has gone wrong and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Even the Supreme Court themselves, the new CGN, even admitted that they are going to work to build the confidence of Nigeria because the Nigerians' confidence in the court has dropped. We don't have any confidence in the court. So when you see somebody coming to come and celebrate a corrupt politician and say, "Oh, he has won because he won," he has been winning. So that means,
Hold on.
okay,
I don't know why you are doing this. I don't know why you are doing this. I don't know why
Okay,
you are
I don't
doing
want
this.
us to
We
speak
can
over
have a
ourselves, right?
conversation
Please, can we
without this
just, Mr.
bullying tone
Bamidele,
from you.
can we just okay,
Ah.
can we just take a breather? Can we just hold, please, Mr. Bamidele? I don't want you I just want you to be calm, sir. Mr. Bamidele actually spoke to this topic. He
No, no, no.
spoke to Wiki as a
I'm
character.
calm, but I don't know the
I know, sir.
way.
Just I
No,
understand. So see,
you
so
get
now
my
you are
point.
no, Mr. Bamidele, hold on. I'm going to yield to you. Hold on, please. Hold on, please. So at this point, Mr. Bamidele, if he's pro Wiki, I don't care. But one thing I know he did is that he spoke to the topic, right? He spoke to uh, the topic on assessing Wiki's political sagacity. Is he the most powerful politician? If we say, oh, we are not happy with what the polity is and how Wike has contributed, that's a different topic entirely. But Mr. Bamdele actually spoke to the topic. And where I think, Dr. Odo, you're having issues with is when he was being absolute. And I have issues with that, Mr. Bamdele. I'm going to hit you. Mr. Bamdele, do you think all things being equal, removing the Nigerian factor, removing biases, and removing Wike's ability to be a bit unconstitutional, like you and I know, if you say Amechi was not able to make so much impact, I don't think Amechi wants to spill blood. We saw a lot of things happening in Rivers where opposition houses were being bombed. Opposition figures could not set it. There were a lot of murders that happened. I'm not attributing it to Wike. I'm saying the River State was under political capture. Like, it was tense all those 8 years Wike was there. Oppositions could not even hold meetings in Wike. They all had to go to Abuja to have meetings. The leading opposition figures had to relocate from Rivers to Abuja and all that. They couldn't even visit home. So all things being equal in an egalitarian and sane society, do you think Wike would have gotten this result he got, Mr. Bamdeli? Speaking about absolute size. So please, I yield to you. Please just speak to us in 2 minutes.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All things being equal, there is still possibility Wike will still win some of those battles. If I want to be honest with you, I don't see the status of our system being a factor. If you actually look at the merit of the fight he went into against people, I make example of Wike, for Rotimi Amechi for a reason. It's just because Rotimi Amechi is not as good a politician as Wike. It's as simple as that. This in his game. I was making an example of Man U and this thing. Distance is a factor in victories. But let's look at the war they fought. Let's look at the war they fought. It's about the war they fought. Wike wanted to have, he does not want APC in under with leadership or what is his name? Rotimi Amechi to survive. He's battle for the soul of the state now. He's a politician.
So, Mr. Bamidele, Mr. Bamidele, sir, Mr. Bamidele, sir, thank you. I don't want you
yes,
to you've made that point, right? I just want you now in another
yeah,
1 minute to define what you mean by being a good politician, taking our polity into cognizance. Are you talking about the ability to corrupt institutions, ability to cause meme, ability to be brash, to be
no,
unconstitutional, to be undemocratic? So
no,
what's your
no,
definition of being
no,
a good
no.
politician in
The art of
Nigerian context?
politics,
Thank
the
you.
art of politics, yes, the art of politics is just like we have skills in things. I will use my late father, that is Baba Dubu from Ibadan. He's my father by virtue of the father, the family I'm related to, the compound where I come from Ibadan is the same compound, the Olukoyi. Hold on, you understand? By that, he's not my biological father. In that token, is my father to some extent. Go and study the politics of that guy in Ibadan politics. The reason why he got it over other people is because he's a smarter person, despite less education, and understand who to take action. And people that learn politics from him, they know how to handle party politics. And that is why in managing party politics in Oyo State APC, Teslim Folari is better at it than Adelabu, Minister of Power. But in the mind of electorate like Adelabu much more than Teslim Folari if you want to vote. But when you want to manage party politics, Teslim Folari is much better. It is this thing I've studied about Wike. Wike is not my friend, though. I'm honestly speaking, he's totally politically averse to me. It's just a connection, intersection that he worked for Tinubu. That is where I have any soft spot for him, if I have any sympathy for him. But ordinarily, in fact, his impact in Oyo State politics is against me. It's after my life. And I belong to Oyo State political caucus, which is APC. Because if not for Wike and his relationship with Tinubu, somebody like the current governor there will not win. And I don't like it. That is Makinde. So you should understand what I'm saying. I'm not talking about
Nigerian system, whether perfect, Nigerian system cannot be perfect now. Tell me, there is all the likelihood we can still win some of these battles. Because when you look at the merit of the battle, now, and if you understand, if he's smart at understanding the system better, it's still part of the strategy of winning. Okay, look at Tinubu. Tinubu won elections from opposition when it was most difficult to do so. 2007, he delivered Fashola. It's all odd. That's one of the worst elections we did in Nigeria. It's because Tinubu studied the system. And when it matters to go to court, he still studies the system. What are the lacuna we can use to win in court? And he delivered nothing less than 4 governors, 3 for his party, 1 for Labour Party. He delivered Aregbesola, he delivered Fayemi, he delivered Oshiomhole, he delivered Mimiko in Ondo State. It's on record. So now, this is the art of politics. It is what we have. It is the spoon I have, cutleries we have in our state that we are going to use. So we will never can say it is because of the imperfection of our system that has gotten it. Politicians study what we have, study the lacuna. Okay, look at it. Let me flip to 2000 back. Look at, I'm sorry, if anybody is Peter Obi person, I'm not abusing anybody. I'm just looking at the strategy of winning presidential election case. Peter Obi went to court. He claimed outside the court that he won the election. But in all the election, the petition he brought before the court, both at the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, he never stated at any point in time that he won the election. But what was he looking at? He was looking at what can disqualify. Because if he said he won the election, he had the audio of Atiku. I'm just making case for him now. He has the audio of Atiku because he can't say you win. Atiku is also winning. You have a number and Atiku. So the only thing that can settle his case so that he can become the president is for them to have a runoff against Atiku. That is why the claim of say he won the election after he played it down. He now look at what can spoil the candidacy of Tinubu. Is this his election results? I mean, is this his certificate? He went for it. That is lacuna in the system as a person. That's the strategy on our OB side. He went for the drug deal, whatever. He went for it. He went for nomination of the vice president.
Mr. Bam,
You understand? These are the things. So it is the game.
Mr.
It's not about whether the system. If you now do, excuse me,
Yes,
sir.
go ahead.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. If you handle that your strategies right, you win your opponent. So be it. And if you lose, you have to take it. It may not necessarily be the system.
So what you're saying basically,
Yes,
what
sir.
you're saying basically is it's just all about political strategy and able to use the lapses, the
Yes,
lacuna, the lapses in the system.
yes,
You weaponize it to your
yes,
advantage,
yes,
and I think
yes,
you're trying to
yes, yes.
define what politics is according to what we understand by politics in Nigeria. Even while you were agreeing with me that the true framers of democracy and constitutional institutional democracy, like as it is, like you said, no, it's not perfect anyway. But constitutional democracy and the framers of democracy actually did not envisage or actually um, build democracy to have these loopholes or lacunas that you can actually use, to get yourself to power. So, in a nutshell, our democracy is still growing, and this is not the society we plan to bequeath to our kids. This is not the kind of democracy or politics we want to teach our kids. We would want it to be a bit more sane, you know, in as much as you've expressed and told us that this is the polity and the politics that is available, and people who are playing it according to your language as smart or they are better politicians. Thank you so much. So please, if you want to speak, just raise your hand. The mic could move. I'm seeing Prince G. Dr. Odo, please, if okay, Dr. Odo has dropped again. If you want to speak, please just put up your hand and please request for the mic. I can see Mr. Social on the listener section and a lot of others. So, Prince G, your hand is up. So please, you can just go ahead. Please let's stick to the topic, right? Let's not try and digress too much. We are looking at this man called Nyesom Wike that has been alleged to bought 3 houses in the name of his children in the US. The man that says before Hamatan, before code there was Hamatan. The man that claims he's not corrupt, but he likes money. I like money. I'm not corrupt. I like money. I need to take care of my family. We're looking at the personality of this man, what he is in our polity, you know. So please go ahead, Prince J. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Um, in South South for now, Wike should be the most powerful politician because he has studied the politics of Nigeria very well and is playing accordingly and is performing well. And you could see the
Sorry, my brother, that was just an error. Please, you can just unmute and keep speaking. Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much. I said in terms of politics for now, Wike is the most powerful politician in South South for now because he has understood the politics and is playing it very well. In our current political setting, they have two branches, the executive and the legislature, I think so, I be the judiciary, sorry, judiciary rather. So he happened to be a half or a full baked lawyer who understand that in this country, once you run the main politics, if you win or you lose halfly or fully, you finish the final race in the courts. So what is he doing? He is partnering and having a good relationship with the judges, the lawyers. So if he run the normal politics, if he didn't win, he has the chances of retaining it through the courts. So now, looking at people from the South, South, and Southeast, if you trace down the line, you will realize that any Southern candidate that really has what it takes in terms of equity, justice, fairness, and rule of law is not likely to be loved by other states, the likes of Southwest, the likes of North, or North in general. The candidate that they would tend to agree with and to like or to love are the candidate who dance in similar tune on how they believe a country should be governed or should be ruled. Example now, you could see David Umahi. He is also doing well. Why? Because he understands the politics that if you choose to have integrity, you cannot rise to the top. Study the top and join them, and you will easily get connected. Now, the future of Wike, mark this down. It must surely come to pass of what I believe he has mapped out, my own view. One, he is preparing himself to hold PDP and APC together ahead of 2037, I guess so as to run as a vice presidential candidate. And that is his mission. And subsequently, if it work out for him, he will now later want to run for president. Why I said so is this. If he is holding on to PDP with his left hand, holding on to APC with his right hand by gaining appointment, he's been appointed and is working under the APC and is a party member, card carrying member under PDP. Are you now going to tell me now any candidate that PDP is going to get, whether it's from South or North, are you now telling me wholeheartedly Wike want to run so that that candidate will unseat the current president for 2027? So to me, PDP is as good as dead under his watch. And he has also admitted that he will not be running for 2027. So now let him tell me or tell us how PDP has life to breathe when it comes to 2027 presidential election. The only thing he is comfortable to do is to still play that role of spoiler and to gain more trust from APC. Spoiler by either getting somebody from the Southwest or one weak ranger that will decamp to PDP so that it will just make noise to attack the major zone that they feel that their opponent have to get some votes
to drag the vote so that the current APC can still retain power. Apart from that, can somebody tell me the blueprint of what Wike is trying to pursue to make sure PDP is outstanding and PDP can really be a formidable force against APC while he's a minister? It's not possible. So what I'm saying are these likely future life goals are this. He will match APC and PDP when it comes to his time to run as vice because he has friends, loyalists under APC, loyalists under PDP in the South region or Southwest region as a whole, and partly from the North, so that his candidacy as a vice will be recognized speedily. Because after Tinubu 2027, so 2037, whatever, is going to the North. So he cannot position himself as a presidential candidate as of then. The worst he can be is a vice presidential candidate. And they will have no other option than to pick him. And he knows that Tinubu in charge, appointing a northern candidate to be president and is a sitting outgoing president, there is like chances that if they make him the vice, they will definitely win the election. So that is the strategy. Then above all, without that, once Tinubu term finishes, they remove him from power, whatever, he becomes irrelevant in politics and he will retire and go back home because the highest position he can retain or he want to vouch for is vice president or president. And if he misses those two chances, there is nothing else he can become that is greater than those things I've mentioned. And what has become of him? He retire back home. And at the end of the day, he is the spoiler of PDP at the end of the day because of his own anger of betrayal that he feel they betray him in the primaries of presidential this thing that he couldn't get. Anger of despite him probably allegedly lobbying to be vice, he didn't get. And also his political permutation that he feel that the nation is not a nation that believe in rule of law, free and fair election, and you know his money bags, and you know who have the money back. And he played his politics well, and today he's been relevant as a minister. So apart from these things, I'm telling you that he has mapped out. Let that time God spare our life. People on this space, you will see that somebody analyze Wike lifestyle that will befall him or be of him in the future. He cannot run for president anymore. That time has gone. The highest will be vice. Then miraculously, if whoever after another 8 years, whoever it is, then that is when he will want to think of running for presidency. And if there is no other person that you like of Femi Adesina or any other top person that can challenge him, then he can become the president. Apart from that, there is no other way. I yield the mic. For now, he's the most powerful person in South because he knows the politics. The judiciary take care of them, build houses for them, furnish for them. If I treat them well, then in the politics, give me power. Headlong, rigging for anything, bah, 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 bo, 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 bo. That is Nigerian politics, and that is the competence, and that is the vision and capacity Nigerian politics is all about. Not about rule of law. Democracy is dead and buried. Thank you. I yield the mic.
Thank you, my brother Prince G. So, in a nutshell, what you are trying to tell us is, in all of these things, Nigeria should start preparing itself for a banana republic, in the sense that all this resemblance of having a democracy or having democratic institutions or democratic rights and privileges would, in a very few years from now, will become inconsequential, insignificant, and irrelevant. You know. So thank you. So my brothers, Stride Networks, Prince G asked a question that I also want to put across to you, or rather, Prince G exposed on a part of Wiki's alleged plan. So Stride Networks, what do you think? What do you think Wiki's grand plan or his love for PDP? This is gatekeeping. You know, what do you think would be the result of PDP with Wiki's influence his love, his dominance, in our polity? What is the end goal? Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I can't see the future, but I can only talk about the present and the past. So I'm not a soothsayer to know what the future holds. About your question. Now to the topic: is Wike the most powerful politician in Nigeria? The last speaker, Prince G, spoke extensively and said, in the South, he's the most powerful politician. So that means he's not really the most powerful politician in the country. That's the truth. The president is the most powerful politician in the country. Wike could be said to wield some power, yes, but he's not the most powerful person. And unfortunately, PDP made him powerful. That's the truth. You see, when parties are weak in terms of when they see people stronger than the party in terms of discipline, and that was what has played out in PDP, that Wike has become a monster. If PDP from the word go has acted as a party where there is discipline, they will have clipped his wings ages ago. So where is he deriving his power from? From indiscipline of his party. That's where the whole thing started from. One of the speakers said something about the judiciary. He built houses for them and all that. Have you forgotten that Amechi shut the courts for 2 good years in Rivers State? No court sat for 2 years in Rivers State. So people had to go and file cases in Bayelsa or in Yenegua, which is Bayelsa. These are some of the things that his predecessor did, Amechi. And in politics and in life, in everything, even in sports, you have to put your strategy into play. In boxing, would you tell me that Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman? How did he beat him? Was he stronger than George Foreman? No, he wasn't. Well, he came with a plan to defeat his opponent. In politics, strategy. America today, Trump is there based on the fact that he came with a strategy to win his election. And he appealed to the minds of some people, to a section of the electorate. And he won. Does that mean that he was a better candidate? He got his politics right. He got his strategy right. So if you just go there, I'm so popular, people like me, he doesn't win elections. As bad as it is, as we might not like him, me personally, I don't like him. He got his strategy right, and I might not like his strategy. You as a person, attitude, I think that that's your name. You come across as somebody who is reserved and gentle and all that. You might not like his strategy, but then he got his job done. That is politics. Get your strategy right, you'll be there. But he's not, to me, as long as he's still an appointee, he is not the most powerful politician, and he will never be. As long as he's the most, he might be, you could say he has some influence or he has some powers which is limited. He might be somebody who's loud. He might be an Agbiru. What else? maybe a populist. You like calling me populist, but being powerful politician, no. That's if you listen to what Bamdele said, he spoke as somebody who knows politics. It's all politics. And if you're on the field of politics, you have to strategize on how